Very much, Jason Drew. Yes, we are live inside Studio 1X for a Coors Light X session with the band Coheed and Cambria. Give it up, everybody. At the Rev Center tonight with Magic Sword. There are still some tickets available at the door if you want to check it out. Claudio, Travis, good to see you again. Thank you very much. And Jeff, Josh, thank you guys for coming in. Zach, we appreciate you very much for being a part of the fun. I want to give you an official welcome back. We talked about it a little bit before we went live, but you guys were a part of X-Fest 2013, which was one of the worst professional days of my life. We had a huge storm that day. I don't know if you remember it, but we had to shut everything down, move everybody inside. You guys played, I think, 3 or 4 songs acoustic as we tried to plug everything back in, and then the sewer started to back up, and so there was poo and pee all around. So we wanted to say thank you for adapting at the very last second and being a part of it. But do you remember that day at all, the nightmare that was involved in it?
I don't. I definitely do now. I know Josh does. I didn't know that your sewage.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. I just knew that we had to adapt and be able to play acoustic. I remember we played, because I was the Afterman era, so we played Two is my favorite one, a couple songs that we're lucky we had handy at the time.
Yeah. You know, it's hard for me to remember these things because I think Coheed is just so adaptable. We find ourselves in those situations a lot where we have to just like kind of transform into something else, and I don't know. That's,
believe it or not, that's not the only time that's happened. Maybe the sewage part, but like big rainstorm, we got to play acoustic. I think it's kind of a badge of honor that we can do that. We never want to leave the fans hanging. So I actually think back on that as a really fond memory. I feel like you guys might not, but we think of it as a really fond memory.
It was an interesting day. We appreciate you guys being flexible.
We appreciate y'all,
No, and thank you guys for coming in and doing this. We know these performances aren't exactly easy nor rare, so thank you very much. I'm definitely going to get into the nerdy stuff, but I want to get into some of the new stuff as well, because in May you guys did something interesting, which was release a single. Not something you often do, but you did The Joke, which we play here on the X. I think it's a fantastic song. But what was the kind of reason behind releasing that as a single, kind of a special one-off?
You know, that song was actually written for Vaxxus too, but when it came to like the sonics of that record, the concept of that record, it just didn't fit. And then, you know, I was sort of pondering what can we do with this thing? And I realized that the song Deranged, which we had done for the Arkham City soundtrack, wasn't on DSPs, and I thought, well, this could be a nice way to introduce that, because The Joke, it like kind of falls in line with the aesthetic of the Batman and the Joker, clearly. Right. So I just saw some similarities, some parallels in those songs, and thought, you know, this is probably the perfect marriage to do that.
And it definitely was. And the Batman fan in me was very happy to see that as the B-side on that particular track. And, you know, I want to, if you remember off the top of your head, give a shout out, because that artwork, I'm not going to say it gives me nightmares, but it kind of does. It's really, really good for that single release. Do you know who to put that out for you guys?
Yeah, Wayshack.
Okay.
He's Jonathan Wayshack. He's been doing a bunch of things for us, certainly for the Amory Wars story and the like. But yeah, that was a concept. We thought, you know, well, how can we get the Joker and Batman involved in the cover without like any licensing issues? And we thought, you know, well, let's take a character of our own, which is Al the Killer, and have him wearing the flesh of the Joker and have bats in the background. And they're like, yeah, that works. So.
And it's nightmare fuel. I mean, it's beautifully scary as well. So certainly mission accomplished there. I know you guys just kind of, you're on a track now currently with Primus. You're doing a headline show tonight at the Rev Center, which is going to be awesome. But of course, you know, whenever you do something new, people pick it up, and you guys have been performing a new song when you're out here doing this thing called Blindside Sunny. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Blindside is it's actually a song I wrote while I was in Paris. My wife and I, we took a writing retreat last year, and I actually stayed back in Paris while she went to Italy, and I wrote a few songs, and Blindside happened to be one of them. And in constructing it and like putting the lyrics together, I formed a new character for the Vaxxus story. But yeah, it's really just like that. You know?
Yeah. And can you see it kind of playing a role in things down the road, or is this just a special kind of thing?
The song?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a part of Axis 3 for sure.
Okay, all right, that's good to know. And of course, you know, speaking as a band, things have also changed kind of professionally for you, as you guys have recently found yourself on a new label. How was that experience for you guys?
You know, it's so far so good. I mean, it's so early. I mean, Coheed is kind of the journeyman of the record label. We find ourselves like, I think we may have, we were probably going to hit like every one in our career, but
it's all said and done, yeah.
Because no one seems to know what to do with us. But
they all want us, but yet they don't know what to do with us. Yeah, it's really interesting.
But it's actually a cool marriage because it's really actually our imprint utilizing the infrastructure of Virgin. So, but it's very early. You know, we've just recently played some of the record for the label, and they seem very excited, very enthusiastic. So we'll see.
I love that. Because, I mean, listen, nobody gets into a band to become business people. You have to kind of like adapt to this as you go forward. But it's certainly, especially at this point, totally part of the process that somebody has to understand how that stuff works.
Right.
Surely.
Absolutely.
But you guys are great at it. Again, tonight at the Rev Centers where you can catch Coheed and Cambria, we would love to hear a song.
Okay, you got
Rock
it.
and roll. Okay.
Liars, it's the fear that wakes us up. The truth that things are such a mess, far beyond repair. Service, hard to find the words we're saying. What we do to deserve these, everything seems broken when you look at it that way. Oh, it's a disease, and there ain't no cure. Oh, the truth is such a bore. Or do you want me to lie? 'Cause I can do it, baby, I can do it. Lie to you, please ask me to. 'Cause life would feel much better if we just avoid the truth. Baby, are you okay to lie with me? It's farther than it seems to be. The older I creep, the pain in my body, longing for the days in my teens. Well, I guess I'll accept this carriage, death beyond the wheel with my mama staring. Jealousy here in the backseat. Or do you want me to lie? 'Cause I can do it, baby, I can do it, Lord. To you, please, I'm begging you, 'cause life would feel much better if we just avoid the truth. Baby, are you okay to lie with me? Baby, I can do it to you. Oh, baby, are you okay? Oh, are you okay with it? Oh, baby, are you okay? Okay with it? Cause life would feel much better if we just avoid the truth. Baby, are you okay to lie with me? Oh, I can do it, baby, I can do it, lie to you. to lie with me.
Coheed and Cambria inside Studio 1X for a Coors Light X session. Tonight at the Rev Center is where you can see them. You can grab your tickets. They're still available. It's going to be an amazing, amazing show. Let's talk graphic novels and the Armory Wars. So, you guys have a chance to put this all together, and it's really awesome because I don't know if you get enough credit. Back in 98, when you first came up with the concept for this was kind of an interesting and different thing. Now, especially for your rock band, you're issuing a graphic novel or you're doing something to tie in with the brand that you have created. Do you feel like you get enough credit as a trendsetter in that particular world?
No.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do that now. I mean, back then in 98, I mean, the idea of comics, and, the first one that we put out was like early 2000s. So it was like at that time, they weren't nearly as received as they are now. Marvel wasn't making movies, it wasn't a thing. I mean, Batman in 1989 was probably, I think, the thing that probably had influence on me at some point. But outside of that, it's like I didn't see a whole lot of it. So, it's the kind of thing that wasn't, I think at some points in our career, wasn't the most positive thing in our atmosphere, because it's comic books. At that time, it felt, people would consider them kind of childish, and then therefore, like, that would spill into the validity of the band, But now, you feel like, if you have a record, you're trying. I can almost feel myself in the boardroom of like, well, we need to figure out another stream of revenue. Let's, let's do that comic book thing that everybody seems to be doing. Whatever. As long as it brings focus to the medium, I'm such a fan of it. I mean, it has a big part of my identity as a human being. So long as it helps the medium, I'm all for it, Yeah,
it makes sense. And now we're 26 years later. We're 26 into the idea, and you wanting to kind of base the band and the story of it behind this particular epic adventure. Are there any regrets? Do you feel at times like it's painted you in a corner creatively, or do you enjoy that particular assignment?
I enjoy it. I mean, I initially created it because I had a hard time being a frontman. Singing songs about myself and wearing my heart on my sleeve is definitely not in my personality. So I utilize the concept as like sort of a shield. All of these songs are very personal. All the records are like time capsules of who I was in that point in my life. But I just figured, why not change this thing into something that will make me feel comfortable as a frontman, and that's what I did, and that's why it's here. I mean, every record to me is like, the first record, Second Stage Turbine Blade, is that title of that record is taken from the part that my father worked on in a factory, heat treating airplane parts. It's a very real thing. It has a lot to do with who I am and the struggles that they went through. I mean, Coheed and Cambria are based after my parents, and the struggles that they had and all the symbolic stuff. It all can be traced back to something very real. And just like the Vaxis records, the new ones, those are really just me being a dad.
Yeah.
And figuring out how to navigate that. So, but yeah, I don't regret it because it's what I had to do to be here right now. So,
and that's the other part of what I was going to say is that one of my favorite parts about the story is the story itself, is how kind of it began as a story about a mother and father, or a couple together, and then they had a child, which kind of worked in, and now you, as a father, can write in those plot lines that are a little bit different. I'm sure you didn't imagine in 1998 when you were doing this particular thing, and then the other side of it is you still have time to work in real world stuff. Like, I know how big the quarantine kind of played into the last record and how you were able to kind of work that into the story. So I imagine you have bullet points as to where you want this to go, but you leave yourself some room to transform it into whatever you want to make it.
Absolutely. That's how it works for me. Because it's like, it's nice to know where there's a target, what I'm going for, but life really sort of informs what's going to be on those records. And it sometimes changes the outcome of the story, which is perfect. Most writers of like sagas will have things super plot out. You look at Tolkien. Tolkien had a language that he created for Lord of the Rings. For me, it's like, it's not that, I can't really do that. There's moments, but I can't predict what's going to happen to me tomorrow. And that's really what informs the story. So So yeah, so it's so much fun because I look back and I like, when I look at the story objectively, I'm like, oh, I probably would have done a little things differently had that been my only, path. But the music is really what did it, and yeah, so.
And I imagine it's also probably been really cool to have your wife as a creative partner in this endeavor, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. I love my wife's voice, certainly when it comes to the written word. So it really helps me out a lot, and it allows me to throw ideas out into the universe at 3:30 a.m. So
always good. There was talk for a while about adaptations, both live and animated, and then other things that you might I guess branch out from this graphic novel. Any movement in that world at all?
We're trying at the moment because there's so much behind us in terms of like the story, the wealth of things we can pull from. But it's a really hard thing, I think, to bring to life because there is so much, and it doesn't feel like it feels like an expensive sort of undertaking. So I think in time it will happen, but there's nothing actively happening at the moment. I mean, I say that, but we are working with showrunners and trying to figure out ways to make it happen. But
love that. And you kind of already mentioned that you feel like part 3 is along the way, so I'll give you some room to drop an exclusive if you want. When can we expect new Coheed and Cambria? Is there any kind of timeline that you have set aside for the new album?
Things are definitely in motion. My wife and I are in the midst of writing the actual novelization of it, and Chase Stone, who has done the illustrations for the past 2, is illustrating it right as we speak. So hopefully next year.
Beautiful. Cannot wait. And of course, if you want to see this band live, we recommend it highly that you do tonight at the Rev Center is where you can find them. We would love to hear one more song.
Yeah, you got it. The only problem with that is I need to remember the lyrics to this one. Well, we'll figure it out. I might have to make something up. It's perfect. This one's called The Joke.
You feel second better.
That's the second verse. I know. Too many songs. Anybody have a application on there? Just look up The Joke by Coheed and Cambria lyrics.
Randall.
And just give me that first line.
Yeah, once you get the first one, you're off to the races.
Does the pain feel?
There we go. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Here we go.
That was awesome.
Does the pain feel better than it's ever? Old habits informing bad routines. Does the hero ever feel the adventure? All or nothing is never what it seems. And no, I'll always come through. Don't waste your breath shouting never at the moon, or it won't feel right. If the sunlight comes up too quick, too soon, if you ever need to break somebody, I'll be here to star in that comedy. I'll be your joke tonight. I'll be your joke tonight under a falling sky. Holding your umbrella under a falling sky. If you feel sick and buried under the weather, I'll be the cure that you need, the one you know. And no, I'll always come through. Don't waste your breath shouting never at the moon, or it won't feel right. If be the star in that comedy. I'll be your joke tonight. I'll be your joke tonight. I'll be your joke tonight. Holding your umbrella under a falling sky. Holding your umbrella under a falling sky. Holding your umbrella under a falling sky. Holding your umbrella under a falling sky.
Coheed and Cambria, Studio 1XX. You never would have known, man. You picked that up right away. Good job.
No, once you get the first line.
Yeah,
It's just that first line.
Tonight at the Rev Center with Magic Sword. Grab your tickets. There's going to be some still available at the door. It's going to be a fantastic show. Again, this is very special to us. Thank you all for coming in. We appreciate it very much. Make sure you check out the show tonight. Coheed and Cambria, ladies and gentlemen. One more time. Back to you in Studio 1X, Jason Drew. Thank you very much.